Alright, so today we're going to be working on finishing up our brake lines, our clutch line, and bleeding the entire system so that we actually have brakes. That way when we go to drive this thing, we can stop. I know, doesn't really sound necessary to me either. Anyway, in a previous video, we ran most of our big lines, so all we really need to do is run our lines from our master cylinders to our reservoir here, and then we'll run from our bulkhead up front to the master cylinders inside the car. Everything's AN line. So anyway, without blabbering on, let's hop into it. So we've got extra hose. We've got so many hoses. So many hoses. AN lines, AN fittings. Let's just try to crank this out. So I've installed our lines from our reservoir to the bulkheads, and then from the bulkheads, which are right there, to our master cylinders in here. And to anyone wondering, yes, it was an absolute nightmare, and it took me hours. So now all we have left is from the front of our master cylinders there to the bulkhead. That's what goes out to our brakes and to our clutch. As soon as those are installed, we're gonna make sure everything's tightened down, no leaks allowed, and we'll go ahead and start bleeding them one at a time. In other good news, I just found out that I didn't place what I needed to on the slave cylinder to make it -3 AN. So now I get to go drop more money to have an adapter for a -4 AN fitting. Yeah, that's how my day is going. How's yours? Good? Yeah, I hope so. And today our question comes from Our Time for Adventures. Him and his kiddos have a channel based all around monster trucks. Really cool, interesting. So if you got some kiddos, make sure to go check him out. I'll have the link in the description to his channel. His question is, highly controversial. Does pineapple belong on pizza? So make sure to let me know down in the comments what you think. From our master cylinders to our AN bulkhead, it's gonna be just like it was from the bulkhead to the brakes. We're gonna make custom AN lines. I'm not really gonna bore you with this because we already did it like 2 or 3 episodes ago, so check out that. Step 1, make the first fitting. Make sure to put the back shell on first, and then brass fitting fit on the end. So you can take your other end, put it in to said brass fitting. Once that's in there, boom, take your back shell, take it in here, screw it down tight, and you're good to go. And this time I was smart enough to put the end on there first, before I did that. Yeah. We put the other end on. This is the first end, measured, boom. 1 line, 2 to go. And boom, cool transition, I know. First time ever you've ever seen that on YouTube, I'm sure. Anyway, we have all 3 master cylinder sides going into our bulkheads. So this hour and a half that I thought it would take is taking literally all day. It's dark outside. Total pain in the butt, but it's over. So AN lines are in. Anyway, the disaster that I just showed you in there is actually pretty well organized. Now we've got a little bit of brake fluid to throw in there. I'm only going to do it on the 2 brakes because obviously our clutch has nothing in it. I'm going to throw a little bit in our front brakes and make sure that we don't have any leaks. So I'm just one person here, but luckily I bought this whole thing. Fantastic. Fill it with a little bit of brake fluid, and it has this magnet that you stick on the brake rotor, on the bleeder, and boom, now you can bleed by yourself. We're now going to start bleeding our rear brakes. So I made sure to pick some extra brake fluid and label my clutch line because that would be not good. As most of you know, furthest away first. Furthest away first. Words. Well, the good news is after all of that time, it took me like hours to bleed this by myself, especially from scratch. It does stop the car. Let me show you. Brakes. So obviously from that demonstration, they're perfect. So anyway, throw the wheels back on. So this actually showed up in 2 days from Summit, but it's a hodgepodge of parts because I have -3 AN lines and because I'm running a T56 internal slave and forgot to change the current fitting with the fitting that was given to me, which is a -3 line, which has been really convenient. I did find this adapter and it goes straight into a T56 slave. That way you can convert the plastic to AN, which is super convenient. Only inconvenient part is it's -4. It's -4 and it's really tight under there, so I didn't think that I could come straight out into a reducer. So instead I ordered this elbow with it, which is nice. I needed to come out of there 90 anyway, and that's -4 to -4. So that'll go straight on there. Still a -4, and then our reducer here, and that's our hodgepodge. So that should work out perfectly. And then we can use our pre-made line and get this thing on there and bled. So bulkhead, slave. So I went and actually picked up a tool, this thing, which if you don't know what this is, it's a vacuum bleeder. It should help significantly with getting any air out of the lines. It's also gonna be the only way that I can do the clutch. So no, you don't need this tape, but I needed this tape because I didn't want to hold it while I was doing all this other crap. So pump it. The brakes are bled. Now we got to figure out how we're going to bleed the clutch. Well, the good news is we got the clutch bled and it only took me 2 hours. Note to everyone, bench bleed your master. And then my bleeder, I was actually able to get to it. It unscrewed and I was able to sneak the vacuum pump into it and pump it out that way. The brakes are bled, the clutch is bled. I can definitely tell the pedals feel a lot better. So let me just show you. After looking at this more and more, I think our seat is gonna have to get changed. So look for a different seat here pretty soon. I love this seat, it's very comfortable. I just don't think we can swing it, which really kind of sucks. So it'll probably go in the next car. Stay tuned for that. I also feel like row for this is gonna be from like here to here. Like that's where it's gonna engage. It's just right there at the bottom. We're gonna have to adjust everything, the brake bias and everything, and all of that is done under all of this. So that'll be fun to deal with, I'm sure. Though the dash is in right now, it's not gonna stay in here 100%. You gotta pull this after playing with these, our pedal box. There's one more point I wanted to attach to just to stiffen it up. So we'll probably end up making some sort of bracket for that. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Sorry, there wasn't a lot to be done. Just trying to bleed the brake, bleed the clutch, get it all ready to go. Did find out a lot of different things that I should have done in the past and didn't. What a surprise. It's like the entire channel. Thank y'all so much for watching all the way through. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.